Hello everyone! Come with me to go to 2 Friends of the Library book sales. Well, the first one isn't necessarily a Friends of the Library book sale. It is for the Wichita Adult Literacy Council. So, Wichita Falls, that is. And oh my god, I was so excited to go. You can see it's in the MPEC. The MPEC is the Multi-Purpose Events Center in Wichita Falls. And oh my god, it was filled to the brim with books. There was some kind of barbecue contest or something going on. But you can see this is a little bit old of a vlog. And I didn't get much footage from the inside, but I took these pictures from their Facebook. That's the council themselves. And they loaded, I think, tons. I think it was 30 tons of books into this room. And oh my gosh. First of all, obviously that's a lot. And I got a lot. That's where we were checking out. That's the only footage I got. And that's Cameron making his cameo. I spent $14 at the Wichita Falls book sale. Then Cameron and I went and got Mexican food at our favorite Mexican restaurant. And oh my god, I was so excited. I hadn't had it in so long, like since our anniversary. Oh my gosh, and there it is, the burrito gente. I love it. I love it so much. It is so good. It is a giant burrito, and I always get it with all of the fixings. About a month later, Cameron and I went to the book sale in Burke Burnett. This was a Friends of the Library book sale. I collect Frankensteins by Mary Shelley, and I loved that cover, except for it was a permanent sticker! They had so many magazines from someone who obviously loved cross-stitch. There was one even dating back to 1979. But I'm not a cross-stitch girly, so I left them. And had I not had a copy of this book, I would have picked it up, but I do have a copy. This is how it was really set up. It was mostly books in milk crates, and those milk crates were just like all over the room. Should I have copped? I didn't get it, but should I have copped? Let me know. Cameron and I then walked around the Wichita Falls Farmers Market, and there was a beekeeper with his bees. And he showed Cameron and I the queen bee. And oh my gosh, it was so cool. He told us so much stuff about the bees. Now it is time for the haul. This is Christmas Babies. It was the first book I got, and this is all from Wichita Falls. Blessed Are the Dead. I got that one as well. It looked so interesting. Pause to read, of course. The Gambler. Pause to read. I got another copy of Frankenstein. Of course, you can pause to read. I got Paradise Lost. And I got Murder Ole, which looks so interesting. Pause to read. I found such a cute copy of The Marvelous Land of Oz. Pause to read. And here is one of my treasure troves that I found. Annie's Calendar Bed Doll Society. This is the Gilded Age collection. Now, a lot of people do not know this about me, but I absolutely love Barbies. I think they're the coolest thing. I loved the Barbie movie, but I was always like a little too poor to get a Barbie. So we always got like dollar store Barbies. And I would always like make their clothes out of like paper. And I'm a crocheter, so this was the coolest thing ever for me to find. I found the Gilded Age collection first, and oh my gosh, it was just so cool. I looked through all of it. I literally dragged Cameron and made him look at all of them. And they were just so cool, and there were so many collections there. Like I said, this is just the Gilded Age one. I ended up getting 4 boxes of them. There were a few that I was not interested in. I got the Golden Age of Film collection. That's what this is showing. And I was so interested in the Golden Age of Film, of course, obviously. But there were ones like Antebellum South, and I was like, no thanks, no thanks. I don't need slave owners chic Barbies, you know what I mean? No, I was not interested in it. But these were just so cool. There were so many ones, like there's a fairy tale one that you're gonna see, and it's just so awesome. And no, I haven't made any yet. I do have to get a Barbie first. I lost all of my Barbie collection when I moved from my mom's house to my dad's house, and then back from my dad's house to my mom's house. My dad was really good at just like caring about my hobbies. So I had a bunch of toys that I really loved. By the way, this is the fairy tale collection that you're going to see on the screen. So cool. But my dad was really, really good at just like caring about my hobbies. And my mom was more worried about paying the bills, you know. And my dad was in the military, so it was a lot easier for him to to have the bills handled, you know what I mean? So yeah, I do have to get a Barbie before I start doing these so I can make sure it fits right. But I will be getting a Barbie. Don't worry about it. Oh, so cool. This one, the little tiny doll next to it was everything. Oh my God, this one's my favorite. I might have to start with this one. Goose Girl. She's just called Goose Girl. Yeah, so I also am really into like princesses. I love watching Disney princess movies. My first Disney princess movie that I ever watched was Beauty and the Beast. But my favorite that I've ever watched is Princess and the Frog. This is the First Ladies of America collection. I thought it would be interesting to include as well. It was $1, so obviously I picked up the ones that I was really interested in. There were 6 different little boxes that had these patterns. If you open them, they all have a pattern inside that shows you how to make the dress on the cover. And I just thought it was so cool. When I flipped around the first one, I was like, no way, they took pictures of the back. Who does that anymore? Ugh, I love cool packaging for things. But yeah, I picked up the ones that I thought were cool. 4 of 6. You know, the other ones were a little bit weird, so I wasn't interested in those. I just love that I have these like little boxes in my collection of stuff. I love collecting stuff like this. And it's a perfect for my collection of just shit in my second room in my office. Anyway, here's the last one. So pretty. The rest of the items that you'll see are from the Friends of the Burke Burnett Library book sale. I picked up a couple of movies. I ended up already having these seasons, but I'll just donate them. I got The Blind Side, which is based on the extraordinarily untrue story. And then I got a ton of magazines. And had I bought them at normal price, they would have been 10 cents each. But I'm going to use some of them as collages. Not this one, not the NASCAR one. That's from February 2000. I'm low-key into NASCAR. But most of them are going to be used for collages. But these ones are not. These magazines that I got. More crochet magazines. Booties. I'm going to make so many for my dogs. These the leisure art magazines, I think may have been donated by the same person who donated all of the cross-stitch ones. So, you know, very cool of them to donate those to the library and then to me. This is a book about a museum, one of the museums in Washington, D.C. I am so into the museums in Washington, D.C. My mom took me one year, and we just had a grand old time. That's the cover. And then I got a Marilyn book. Love her. These next books I got to be sort of backgrounds when I do Western Texas books. This is the Guinness Book of World Records from 1981. A cockroach book, again, for the background for one of my books. Vampire Junction just looked interesting. I got East of Eden as well. I got a ton of these Dimebacks, and they looked so interesting, so I'm so excited to dive into them. I'm not very familiar with this author or the brother, Jonathan Kellerman, but I only spent $5 at the Burke Book event! Thank you guys for watching my cheap book buying vlog. There will certainly be another one sometime in the future. Bye!